Hello and welcome to Training Tuesday for October 24th, 2023. We're going to start out with a video my mother filmed when she was visiting this week. This is Tuvok, one of our corn snakes, and I'm showing you this video to remind you what a target training session's goal is. It's to get the snake to orient towards the target and then follow it to a location of your choosing. And this is a useful tool to move the snake from one place to another, to get them to come out of hiding, or to locate them to a different area while you clean part of their enclosure, or to totally shift them out of the enclosure if you need to do maintenance. And Tuvok is doing very well. I am just targeting him within his enclosure, but it's a great session just to show you exactly what the snake is ideally supposed to do. And here's another reminder. This is Lita. I'm just asking her to target a little bit off of her shelf towards the target, which I have right inside the enclosure threshold. She orients towards it, she acknowledges it, she pauses at it, and then she looks to get her reinforcement. Perfect. So now let's look at Una. This is her third target training session, and my husband filmed this one, and it was in mostly the dark, and I'm not sure why all the flashing lights, but she targeted out of her sky hide and went towards the target and took her reinforcement. So now this is her fourth or fifth session, and you see that now she sort of understands what that target means. She really gets it. She's not hesitant anymore. She was already hanging out of the sky hide when I set up the equipment to start the session, and she was ready to go. It's not unusual at this stage for them to start striking at the target because they suddenly realize what it means. But I just looked for her to not strike at the target, look at it for a few seconds, and pause. Once she did that, I delivered reinforcement from off to the side. And these next two videos are two more of our corn snakes, and these are videos my mom filmed while she was visiting. This first one is Naroon, and you can see he's really focused on the second person that he's not used to having there, my mom. So I really had to get his attention and remind him that he should be following the target if he wants to earn reinforcement. So I literally just asked him to change directions and move up onto his log, and then I deliver his reinforcement. Target training is something that we always want to practice with the snakes, even when we don't need it in the moment, because we want them to be skilled at it and we want them to remember how to do it, and we want that target to be a salient signal to them to move in its direction in case we need it for an emergency, or as a tool to perform some actual behavior that's needed. Now, this is an example of a snake who has never been target trained before, and how you can leave the target outside of the enclosure as long as the snake can see it through the glass and can see it behind the reinforcer. This snake was literally just relinquished to us. The snake had not even been here a week when I did this target training session. His name is Courage. He has a restricted airway. He has an enlarged heart. He's special needs. He was relinquished with his enclosure, so we haven't moved him yet to a different one. And it's a little bit small. So I showed him the target on the outside of the glass. I presented the reinforcer just inside the glass, but visually to the snake, he still sees the big blue target just behind the reinforcer. And I give him all the time he needs to decide to move forward and take the food. Now, his previous owner said he hadn't eaten in 3 months, and he ate for me the first try. I'm watching his body, and I can see that his whole body is starting to move towards his head, and his head is slowly moving towards the reinforcer, and he's tongue flicking, which is why I'm so patiently waiting here for him. This is a good opportunity for me to remind you that target training, if you practice it, it is available as a tool when you need it for shifting the snake in and out of their enclosure, for recalling the snake if they accidentally get out or into an area where you don't want them to be, for shifting them out of their transport container if you're at the veterinarian, for shifting them onto a scale. It's also a great communication tool just to let the snake know it's feeding time and that you're going to have food available. Target training has a lot of really good uses, whether you're using it operantly or classically. Operantly means that The target signals that if the snake performs a behavior, they will earn reinforcement, and classically means as soon as the snake sees the target, it predicts that food is coming, no matter what they do next.